Do you have a special car, a caravan, boat or RV but no safe space to store it at home? Let Melbourne Car Kennel securely store it for you. Conveniently located at Moorabbin Airport with easy access to major roadways, Melbourne Car Kennel offers secure indoor and outdoor storage for anything on wheels. With 4K CCTV, monitored alarms and regular security patrols, Melbourne Car Kennel cares for your wheeled assets as if they are our own. Call Melbourne Car Kennel now and talk to Brad to organise your flexible vehicle storage solution. Discounts available for viewers who mention this advert from the Victorian State Racing Series broadcast. You can find Melbourne Car Kennel on Facebook, Instagram and online at melbournecarkennel.com. Melbourne Car Kennel, proudly supporting Blendline TV and the Victorian State Racing Series.
Facebook isn't the only place that you can support Australian grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV. To see more real race cars, more live events and more of the racing you love, subscribe to the Blendline TV YouTube channel, sign up to our mailing list or bookmark and subscribe to our website at blendline.tv. Thanks for continuing to support grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV.
Do you have a special car, a caravan, boat or RV but no safe space to store it at home? Let Melbourne Car Kennel securely store it for you. Conveniently located at Moorabbin Airport with easy access to major roadways, Melbourne Car Kennel offers secure indoor and outdoor storage for anything on wheels. With 4K CCTV, monitored alarms and regular security patrols, Melbourne Car Kennel cares for your wheeled assets as if they are our own. Call Melbourne Car Kennel now and talk to Brad to organise your flexible vehicle storage solution. Discounts available for viewers who mention this advert from the Victorian State Racing Series broadcast. You can find Melbourne Car Kennel on Facebook, Instagram and online at melbournecarkennel.com. Melbourne Car Kennel, proudly supporting Blendline TV and the Victorian State Racing Series.
Facebook isn't the only place that you can support Australian grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV. To see more real race cars, more live events and more of the racing you love, subscribe to the Blendline TV YouTube channel, sign up to our mailing list or bookmark and subscribe to our website at blendline.tv. thanks for continuing to support grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV.
We're out and rolling with the warm-up lap for the Kumho Tyre New South Wales Sports Sedan Championship, round number 1, race number 2. Dan Beckersale in beside me for this one. And we had quite a race yesterday, didn't we, Dan? The first couple of laps between Brad Shields in the 13B rotary turbo-powered Fiat and Nick Smith in his Nissan turbo-powered Mazda RX7 really put it on for us in the first couple of laps. Unfortunately, Nick had to pull out with a turbo gasket issue, it blowing, and I believe he's back for today.
I saw him at turn 2, but I haven't seen him appear for turn 3 in the run over the hill, so I have a funny feeling that car might be stopped somewhere. Yes, it is. I was on screen now. He's pulled off to the left on the exit of turn 2. So unfortunately for Nick Smith, he will not partake in this race. Some sort of drama with that car as soon as they rolled it out. Saw the Duggan car at the back of the field as well, so maybe it wasn't a complete engine failure.
It was. They did an engine change, put a new engine in that car overnight. The previous power plant was ventilated, was the words I got. I asked it, was it ventilated, and I got a confirmed that it was. An interesting fact about that car, he said with the new colour scheme, it's all red now, so he believes it's faster. And he said, actually, when we put the previous motor in it, we had good horsepower, we painted it, and all of a sudden it had 25 horsepower more, so red is best. Chris Jackson will be one to watch. He started rear of field after failing to qualify, or didn't get out in time to qualify, so he will actually start further up the grid now because he finished in the top part. Actually, has he made the grid? That's the other thing we've got to look at, but plenty of good cars in behind him. I don't think Chris Jackson's actually made the grid, so that's a bit unfortunate. Looks like we're going to go ahead with the start of this one, and a rolling start for Sports Sedans. There's nothing quite like it. The big booming V8s, rotaries and turbos all off the line together.
They launch away down into turn 1. It looks like Inward's going to try to run around the outside of Shields. We'll see what's going to happen with the big Corvette. No, he sits in behind Paul Bosher, in behind that as well in third place. I spoke to Paul before the start of this race, and he was hoping that they'd had the setup sorted to be able to throw something at those big cars. It looks like he might be able to do that as turn 2. The yellow flags from the start of this one. Nick Smith's car there. Oh, we've had a spinner. That's the
Callahan, Barry Callahan's had a spin at turn 2. Under yellows, unfortunately. But I'll tell you who did make a good start was Duggan down the outside from the back of the grid. He steamrolled his way through to a fairly prominent position. I think he's up to about 5th. Back to the grid, Kelleher hasn't managed to get going. Beauchette trying to make a move on Inward. between turns 5 and 6. Not quite close enough. Chef Power versus Dodge Power, and it looks like the Dodge Power has a bit more out of the corner, and it gets himself up a place. We've gone safety car. So, did he get that move done before the flags came out? I think he has, actually. So Paul Bochette will move into second. Now, this is an interesting scenario, Dan, because he will be right behind Shields at the restart of this.
It'll be the little red car against the big red car. Turbo rotary versus the big V8.
The Dodge 6-litre.
As big as he can shoehorn into the front of that. I think Paul Bochette would put a bigger V8 at the front if he could.
If you're allowed to. I think they have a 6-litre limit for sports sedans. Invited can go a little bit higher. Certainly, though, Brad Shields with this rejiggered Fiat did have a 20B in it. It's now got a 13B turbo unit in it. The sports sedans these days can run paddle shift if they wish to make that investment. New door on the side of Dave Aiken's BMW, I noticed too. Or a repatched door, perhaps.
I don't know. I think they could put the skin back on it, but I'm not sure if the metalwork behind was all okay. Because the pictures I saw last night.
The torn it back. Yeah, the framework, but
yeah.
I mean the skin's only pop ribbon on anyway.
Get a new pop ribbon, away you go. As we see, that Mustang is still stranded down in turn 2 as the field comes around. That's why the safety car's been pulled out and they're readying the flatbed truck to go out to collect him.
So if you missed yesterday's race, which is a humdinger for the first few laps anyway, there's a few regulars that we haven't seen. Brent Dillman not running this meeting. Billy Chet in the Camaro unfortunately had an accident at turn 5 and did a lot of damage to the rear of the car. Fortunately, a lot of that is cosmetic, but you have to check the whole car over and make sure you haven't broken something else like an upright or engine mounts or whatever. Also, Steve Lacey not running this meeting. He had dramas on Friday engine-wise. They're still sorting through all that. And as we said, Chris Jackson just missed out on getting out for qualifying, started rear of grid, made up several positions, got himself up to P5, and then unfortunately hasn't started today's event, so we don't know what the drama is there. So we just have to bide our time and see where this will all transpire to. Brad Shields, of course, he's been running in Super Sports this weekend as well. Ran Super Sports Radical Cup last weekend at Bathurst. So a busy program. And the leading SR3 in 2 of those races yesterday was beaten to the line by Peter Patton in the 3rd, so finished about 5th in that last race yesterday. Super Sports opting for the one-day part of this meeting and replaced by production sports today. So keeping the tyres warm is a priority at the moment. It's possibly very sunny, but there is a cool breeze blowing here today, and I suspect the top temperature at the moment would be about 18 or 19 degrees. Expected to get to the low 20s. And Barry Kelleher is underway, so I expect we'll go back to race conditions at the end of this lap. We've still got 12 minutes of this race to go, so still plenty of time for some action to be undertaken. Now, can Bochette do anything about Shields off the start, off the restart? That's a big question. They will tighten up, and already Bochette's starting to get right on the back of that Fiat. He doesn't want to give him any breathing space at all.
He just wants him to know he's there, doesn't he? He really want him to be able to push past.
Yeah, Bochette didn't race at all last year due to COVID, obviously shortened season, while the Sydney Motorosport Sports Sedans did get through a championship, which was good, plus their club championship, which entailed an extra meeting. And Grant Durman won the championship. It went over 4 rounds. He won 3 of them. And Duggan won the last one. And in the club championship, it was Durman as well over Steve Lacey, and Duggan was third. Brad Shields was in fourth. Talk about Division 2 and Division 3 as well, based on lap times. Division 2 went to Philip Ryan in his LS-powered Datsun, and Graham Smith in the Commodore took out Division 3. Phil Ryan not running this weekend, but Graham Smith certainly is, so he wants to go back-to-back in Division 3. So, okay, safety car lights are out, and it's scarping out of there pretty quick. You don't want to be in the way of these guys when they get moving, and it'll be up to Brad Shields to control the restart of this one.
Just noticed, Gary, as well, Duggan is up into 5th place already in this race with only about half a lap of running, so he made a good start to this event and will be looking to try to get himself in front of Inwood, you suspect. They go fanning out across the road. He's going to have to be careful, though. He's passed before the control line, the Gessler car, so that might be an issue for Duggan. As look at Bosher right up under the rear wing of Shields. He's going to show the nose down into turn 2. You can guarantee that. Sure enough, he does. Late under brakes. Who can get it pulled up? Brad Shields keeps the lead by less than half a car length. Paul Bosher has the hammer down. He's trying to do all he can to just stay right there with him and see if he can make this move.
I expect that the Shields will be quicker over the back, so Beauchamp will try his best to stay in touch wherever he can and maybe get a better run down the straight the next time round. Of course, they couldn't really get going until halfway down the straight, and already you can see Shields starting to edge away in the part of the track that really suits him.
I'll get all up under the back of Cameron as well as they come through the back section of the circuit. The Commodore of Cameron, though, Duggan's very, very wide in turn 6, and that'll make his job a little bit harder as he comes around Corporate Hill. He's lost about 3 car lengths to the green Commodore, sitting in 4th place in the race. Inwood floating in 3rd on his own, and then further back we got Gessler, Glenn Crow, and the GTR in front having a battle there as well.
That's Harwood in 32. So we come up to the top of the track with our race leaders. This is where the action is. Can he do something about getting past? Well, the live stream, we're watching some of the action happening down further down the track. We're keeping an eye at the front, and we'll give you a K's through the speed trap. 243 for the Fiat, 257 for Beauchamp in the Corvette. So a little bit quicker in a straight line, but he just doesn't get close enough to be able to do anything about it at this point.
Because Brad Shields can pull that little Fiat up on a dime down into turn 2, and that helps him maintain the lead. And of course, the handling he's got through the back of the circuit. Joe Said has put in so much work into that car over many, many years, and they're reaping the benefits now with this new setup.
It's taken a while, and they finally got there. And now you can see as well that he's eked out a bit of a gap. Shields has over Beauchamp. It's about 8/10 of a second. I think it might be a little bit more by the time they get to the end of the second sector. And Cameron up to 3rd. Now where's Inwood got to? I think we might have lost Inwood out of this. They were reporting that after yesterday's race a vibration. I wonder if that's transpired into something a bit more problem. No, he's still there, so it's a transponder issue, which has nothing to do with mechanical of the car. It's just a pain for us because they just happen, and for some reason it doesn't register on the timing for quite a while.
Here's Duggan to the inside of Cameron into the back complex, turns 11 and 12. So Duggan now up into 4th place in the race. He's been able to overhaul the Commodore. We have Shields first, Beauchamp second across the line, Inwood in 3rd place, then Duggan is a couple of seconds behind as the wind continues to gust at these guys down the main straight. It's a direct headwind down into their faces at the moment, so that'll be changing how they enter turn 1. They'll all need to be aware of that as they make the shoot through to turn 2.
Yeah, the speed difference between Duggan and Cameron was around about 9 kilometres an hour on that lap. So definitely the Aston a little bit pokier in a straight line than the Commodore. Commodore hasn't done a lot of miles. It's been gathering dust in a workshop for many years, and they decided to get it out and rebuild it based on a VS Commodore.
Here we go, our leaders have come together as they come around the back of Corporate Hill. Boshet looks to the inside, so Brad Shields has lost a lot of ground in half a lap here, and Boshet gets to the inside at turn 6.
He's got
Shields
a problem.
Very slow out of 6.
He's got an issue, unfortunately, for Brad Shields, and he's basically surrendered the lead to Paul Boshet. Good way for the Canberrian to come back to Sports Sedans is to get a win up.
I tell you what, it's going to mix up the championship this year as we head to round
Great.
3 next month. As they're all over the shop now, especially with Birrell Chetton and Steve Lacey both not competing in this one.
Second round
to their cars.
Second round of this series will be down at Wakefield Park in May. Then we're back here for a couple more rounds. One of them was the National Championship. That's in September at the Master Blast. And then we go to Wakefield Park in September and back here in November.
So Brad Shields lost a position there, but he doesn't look like he's lacking for straight line pace too much. 252 for Boshet, 244 for Shields. So he's a little bit down, but not massively. So obviously he's just having some sort of drama with getting drive in that car around the back of the circuit, or he had an intermittent issue that they've had last year with the electricals in the dash. It looks like it's reared its head again as he exits 2 and comes over the crest from 3.
Out of the corners.
Been able to go past, so
Inwood up to second position. So at the moment, Inwood would be in front in the round, the opening round for Jimmo Tyres Sports Sedans this year.
I suspect that maybe he's got some sort of pickup issue then when he goes around the tight left.
Well, they didn't know what the drama was down at the last meeting they ran, which was last year. When it did happen, it just died. It just stopped. They got it back to pits and it fired up straight away. So that's the worst sort of scenario that you could possibly imagine.
No doubt they'll crawl all the way under the car and try to figure out what they can do to be able to make it work in this the final race coming up this afternoon. He's slow again out of the hairpin. So it is an intermittent issue. He's probably going to try to run it to the line because there's decent gaps through the field for these top runners to be able to bring it home. I suspect he'll lose a position to Scott Cameron towards the end of this race, but then after that he's got a fairly significant gap back to Harwood, Pro and Spiteri, who are still having a decent enough battle that ebbs and flows around the circuit. Spiteri trying to get on the back of Glen Pro.
Yeah, Shields again in the 43s. So he'll really won't want to lose more spots. Duggan and Cameron, 2 cars that are looming there. And then we've got Harwood, Pro, Spiteri, John Spiteri that is, Graham Smith, David Aiken, Josh Pillars, Brent Geyser back towards the back. They didn't hit him with any sort of penalty for overlapping on that restart. He went past Duggan before the start, but I think he surrendered it fairly quickly anyway. And Barry Kelleher has managed to get going and looks like he lost a lap, so he'll still score points. Barry, of course, not in his younger years, but a formidable record of sprint cars, motorcycle racing in the past. Been there, done that.
As we see Smith Cameron closing the battle, closing the gap to Duggan ever so slightly throughout the course of the last 2 laps. So I'd say Duggan's just looking to bring the car home at this point.
Wouldn't want to ventilate a second motor, would you, for one weekend? It's an expensive exercise. But if he gets it back to the line, it certainly looks good in its all red now.
It does. Very, very well presented cars throughout the field.
Well, we looked at it before yesterday's race and thought, wow, this is everyone's cleaned up their cars, ready for a new season, and said to Steve Lacey, he said, looks good with a brand new yellow livery, same colours, but looks brand new. He said, unfortunately, they've got engine drama, so they weren't going to go anywhere. Still, it's Boshet from Inwood, 3.5 seconds between them. Shields in third, holding station at the moment. Actually did a lap that matches what they're doing up the front, so back down to the 37s. So it's obviously in a minute. Cameron right on the back of Duggan now. And on their last laps, Duggan did a 39, Cameron a 38, so we've we predicted it. They're on their last lap, so maybe he's just trying to bring it home in that position. Keep him quiet has been the hard part.
He's only got about 4 corners left now as we see this battle continuing with Duggan holding off Cameron. I think he should be able to do that as well. Cameron, though, he's made a mockery of what I've said as he's closed the gap down into turn 6. So we'll keep a track on that one as Moshe comes around Corporate Hill to run down to the back straight. We've got Duggan and Cameron into the hairpin just in front of us, and they are still light astern, so no overtake there.
Out of the last corner, checkered flag at the ready. Red is best this day anyway, with Paul Beauchamp, who will take the win in the Dodge-powered Chev Corvette ahead of the Chev-powered Chev Corvette and the Mazda-powered Fiat of Shields in first spot. Your outright is Beauchamp, Inwood, Shields. Duggan does hold on for 4th ahead of Cameron. Then it should be Pro next in the 6th position.
He's just going to hold off, as we see them on screen, just going to hold off Harwood behind. He closed the gap up in the last couple of laps, but wasn't able to throw anything at him in the Nissan GTR.
So these are our division winners. Pro ahead of Harwood. Spiteri should be the next one down the line. Probably the hardest working car here this weekend. It does so many Ks. And he gets it to the line in 8th position because Trevor Spiteri runs that in improved production as well. Then it's Geyser to the line. Gravesmith will lead home Division 3 in his Commodore. And Barry Kelleher will round out the field. We're going to take a quick break and then we're back with Formula Race cars.
Have a special car, a caravan, boat or RV, but no safe space to store it at home? Let Melbourne Car Kennel securely store it for you. Conveniently located at Moorabbin Airport with easy access to major roadways, Melbourne Car Kennel offers secure indoor and outdoor storage for anything on wheels. With 4K CCTV, monitored alarms and regular security patrols, Melbourne Car Kennel cares for your wheeled assets as if they are our own. Call Melbourne Car Kennel now and talk to Brad to organise your flexible vehicle storage solution. Discounts available for viewers who mention this advert from the Victorian State Racing Series broadcast. You can find Melbourne Car Kennel on Facebook, Instagram and online at melbournecarkennel.com. Melbourne Car Kennel, proudly supporting Blendline TV and the Victorian State Racing Series.
Facebook isn't the only place that you can support Australian grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV. To see more real race cars, more live events and more of the racing you love, subscribe to the Blendline TV YouTube channel, sign up to our mailing list or bookmark and subscribe to our website at blendline.tv. Thanks for continuing to support grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV.
Do you have a special car, a caravan, boat or RV, but no safe space to store it at home? Let Melbourne Car Kennel securely store it for you. Conveniently located at Moorabbin Airport with easy access to major roadways, Melbourne Car Kennel offers secure indoor and outdoor storage for anything on wheels. With 4K CCTV, monitored alarms and regular security patrols, Melbourne Car Kennel cares for your wheeled assets as if they are our own. Call Melbourne Car Kennel now and talk to Brad to organise your flexible vehicle storage solution. Discounts available for viewers who mention this advert from the Victorian State Racing Series broadcast. You can find Melbourne Car Kennel on Facebook, Instagram and online at melbournecarkennel.com. Melbourne Car Kennel, proudly supporting Blendline TV and the Victorian State Racing Series.
Okay, welcome back to Sydney Motorosport Park for those on track and those, of course, on Blendline TV. Big shout out to our officials here this weekend for being on track. to sort out all the dramas that we're ever likely to have. Right at the moment, we've got Formula 3 and others in Formula Race cars out on track for round 2. It's an Overtune Memorial weekend for these guys. So I've got Lawrence Casidis with me, normally out there as a racer, but this weekend he's decided that he's better behind the bike that he is out on the track.
I don't know about that, but we'll see how it plays out. So we've got a pretty good field here this weekend, and the remarkable story thus far is Noel McDermott in the Anglo Motorsport Dallara. It's his first time in a Formula race car, in particular Formula 3, and he's put it on pole position and won his first race.
Yes, unbelievable result, and a good car out of the Gilmore Racing team in Queensland.
Yep.
And certainly making good use of it here this weekend. We did have a couple of dramas yesterday. Phil Morrow's Reynard was into pits fairly early, and Adam Gotch was parked in turn 5 with a drama with the Formula 4. The beauty about this class, Lawrence, now though, seeing a bit of it, is that you've got the various different cars. You've got Formula 3, Formula Holden, Formula Ford, Formula 2. If you've got a Formula Toyota or a Formula BMW, bring it out and have a run. And Victoria are doing the same thing with their Formula 3 category. That's FREE.
Yep.
So I'd love to see a merging of the big fields together and have it like a one-hit nationals. Wouldn't that be good with all the better cars out there?
We're working on it, and there's talk of something happening at Phillip Island at some stage, but right now all the guys are gridding up. We've got a couple of professional teams on the grid, namely AGI and the Anglo Motorsport guys, which is fantastic for the category. And they're all just taking up their grid spots.
I thought we had one missing there for a minute, but Ron Cope was actually lagging behind a little bit to get up next to Adam Gotch on the grid. So 5-second board has been shown. Red light is on. Should be a big start. Bit of a roll there from the 13 from McDermott. And then Doug Barry get a great start. And 2 stalled on the grid. Rob Rowe and Coast both didn't get away. Well, now the Coast got off the line, but we haven't seen... sorry, that was Bodie that didn't get off the line. And the number 4, Rod Rowe, will be sporting quite a start to the others.
He'll catch up soon enough. But meanwhile, at the front, we've got the Formula Holden giving Noel McDermott a hard time, and that Formula Holden's going to be very difficult to pass. We've had a spinner, Timmy Borden spun around, but I think he'll get going.
Well, that's to truncate that unfortunate stalled start. For Borden will have further problems before the end of the second corner. Meantime, no, it's McDermott leading, Barry in second, Nathan Gotch in third, and Boydle's still stuck there in that McGull.
I think he's beached it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. That can happen here because of the how much of the curbing's there, and if that stays there, we'll go safety car. I don't think they'll let that one go.
No, I think they'll be able to wheel him off and get him going if we can get the thing started.
Just seen Muddle make a move on one of the AGI sports cars. We have gone safety car as a result. So I think he's done that move before the safety car boards were shown, so he'd probably get away with that one, I would imagine.
You'd hope so, for his sake.
Yeah, be nothing worse than that.
Yeah, it's unintentional, it's just bad luck sometimes.
Yeah, and you can't redress in these categories. The supercars allow you to redress, but the others you can't.
Yeah. We're not Formula 1 and we're not supercars.
Yeah, so they'll come down the line. And now this all should work in McDermott's... well, it might actually work in Barry's favour off the restart, because if he's right behind him off the restart, will the Formula Holden have a bit more in a straight line to get past a Formula 3 car?
I think it will. And we can see Robbie Rowe from the commentary booth is catching up to the field now, so that drama...
That'll be a blessing for him.
That's been negated now, so that's good. So we watch the field come through, safety car, we'll see in a moment if they've cleared Boydle, ex-motocross guy out of the AGI stable. Okay, so he's back on track.
That's a quick safety car there.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward, just get him off the bench. Move on. I expect. Oh no, he's on the grass. Could be a bit more of a drama. They're towing him in.
Flat battery, maybe.
Who knows?
Those things happen because they've only got those little lithium batteries in it. And once they go,
Yeah, that's right. They're not lithium because they don't last the distance, but we use the Odyssey.
yeah.
The one-trick wonders. You can start it once, maybe twice, do a race, and then you've got to gas it again.
I suspect that you would have probably tried to gas it off the pebble strip.
You'd think so. You'd think so.
So we just wait until the end of this lap. I would imagine we go straight back to. They're getting back. I might get him back in time. This might go accordingly. You should be able to go straight back to race conditions.
Yep,
because
I'd say
he's at the turn 4 entry gate to the pits already.
Pardon me.
And that'll give safety car time now to clear the decks, get out of the way of these race cars as they go back to race conditions.
Just watching the lights on the safety car. Yep,
yeah,
lights
they're out.
So we'll go resume racing at the commencement of the next lap. And we'll see.
Are you allowed to weave behind a safety car in this category? Because they are.
To be candid, I don't actually know. I probably should, but I don't know. So McDermott's got a bit of a gap already on Doug Barry. Might want to get the hammer down sooner rather than later if he's trying to
still
get past.
Still got a safety car there, so they can't exceed any speeds. And they must maintain that distance. Now they all queue up behind McDermott and ready for a restart.
Right, McDermott's off.
Oh, he's bolted.
Yep. So Dougie's given him a free 300 metres. We see Muddle behind Doug Barry again. So all head into turn 1, 3 wide. Thank you very much.
Rowe making a move on
Adam.
on Morrow at the back. By the look of it. And as they go down to turn 2, and a couple of others trying to find their way. It's a bit, you see from our camera angle, it looks like they're making a move, but they're actually probably a couple of car lengths behind.
Just eyeballing the situation.
Yeah, and it's probably makes whoever's in front of them think twice about whether they should be on the track as far as defending corners go as well.
Got to say, just watching Doug Barry, he's coming on leaps and bounds in that Formula Holden. Each time out, he's getting closer and closer to the front of the field. He's at 1 car away from the lead now.
Yeah, Doug, of course, has a dual program, does hill climb, New South Wales hill climb, and the Australian Hill Climb Championship as well.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the meetings clash this weekend. Huddley Hill is on. Oh, look at the battle going on for 4th position at the moment.
Yeah.
It's heady stuff back there.
So Graham Holmes making a move on
One of the gotchas.
Nathan Gotch, and he gets the move done. He's got a little bit of ground to make up. See Robbie Rowe looking to put the same move on Shane Morrow successfully. He's got a bit of ground to make up as well.
So the two gotchas running nose to tail in their Formula 4 Megals.
And we see Muddle's gone down the inside.
Is he close enough to get the job done?
I think he got through. Just have to wait and see.
Well, I was going to say that Barry had his best result to date yesterday.
That's right.
And he's even going one better again today at the moment, even if he finishes 3rd.
Yeah, and that thing is a beast. And I think he's only pulling top gear just before turn 1. So if he shortens the gears up on that beast of a thing, he'll head straight to the front without any drama.
And we've got one in the pits.
Yeah, I think that's Timmy Boydle, and Phil Morrow's gone into the pits. He had some gear linkage issues yesterday. It's just a work in progress, trying to resolve the issues for that car.
Yeah, we've got a black flag out for someone too. Mechanical problem with one car.
I wonder who that is.
We can't see the numbers
Can't see
yet.
it, no.
It'll come out to us. And we've got a couple that have got start line infringements. Our race leader, McDermott, and Cove in the number 48. We've also
5
got
seconds.
5-second penalties. And we've still got 6.5 minutes. The lead is 1.7 seconds.
Deary me.
got a bit of work to do to make sure he holds on to this win at this moment.
Well, I can see Muddles now. He's got the eyes on. Doug Barry, Graham Holmes, these 4 guys are all onto it and into it.
And they're certainly putting on a good show. And then we've got the 2
AGI cars, followed by Glenn Lynch. Robbie Rose made up some ground. And then we've got another battle pack, which is great for the guys racing back here. So Robbie Swiderskis make a move on the number 22 of Rodney Baker, which has got some engine issues. It's going on and off song, which is annoying because it's into
electrical type dramas.
We don't know. We thought it was fuel related, electrical, whatever. Chase. The problem is, until you find out what it is, you can't fix it. So,
yeah, even sometimes based on the whole wiring loop, we still have a problem.
yeah, could be something completely unrelated. Anyway, we've got McDermott. I don't think he's 5 seconds in front of Muddle.
Yes, and he's only 1.8 seconds, 1.9 seconds actually.
Yep.
So he's got a bit of work to do. We've got 5.5 minutes of this race remaining. So he's going to have to put his head down and really go for it. He needs to pull 5 seconds or in 3.4 seconds over the next couple of laps.
So he did the fastest lap that previous lap, which was, what, 3/10 quicker than Muddle?
And tomorrow it's got the black flag.
Right. Car 17. I wonder what's going on there.
He's a fair way down the pack at the moment. He's back in 9th position.
That's just a shame.
So this could be that it could be spraying a bit of fuel or fluid of some sort.
Potentially, and we can see Robbie Swiderskis on screen. With Rodney Baker looking to put a move on him.
Seeing if 17's going to pit, he didn't pit. There's nothing evident there.
I don't think he's seen the flag. He's got his eyes forward and focusing on passing.
So the great thing about night racing is you see a black flag.
Yeah, that's a great excuse. I'll remember that.
I remember it from a historic touring car race where the guy got black flags for not having lights on the night race. He said, I didn't see it because I didn't have the lights on.
That's perpetually perfect. So we just saw Robbie go around the outside of Glenn Lynch at turn 5 in a gutsy manoeuvre.
And it looks like Holmes is taking position 3 away from Barry as well on that lap, according to our timing, at least.
Right, so there is... Noel hasn't done enough just yet. And I know Anglo were looking to wipe the floor with the opposition, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen given that Noel crept and we saw it plain as day, unfortunately for him.
So going on this rate at the moment, that would drop McDermott from first back down to 3rd.
Yep.
Because he has got 5.7 seconds on Barry in 4th spot. So if anyone's in touch with Doug Barry, tell him he needs to pick up 7/10 of a second, and he may still finish with a top 3 spot. So Muddle in 2nd position, Holmes in 3rd, and that gap has maintained about the same. And the speeds down the straight, just for those that are interested, around 213, 214 k's an hour. Not the fastest carrying a straight line, but they're carrying that speed through turn 1 where the others aren't.
Yeah, that timing mark is...
Not the fastest point on the track.
No, so they're about 230 through turn 1, but they are flat. They don't lift the throttle, and they're pretty well... Yeah, the corner speed is what it's all about in one of these things.
Yeah, and the faster you go through the corner, the flatter it stays.
Pretty much. It's a hard thing to get around if you...
Get your head around working the other way.
That's right. Hard to tell your foot to stay flat when your brain's going, hang on a minute.
And your heart's not right
That's
there
right.
as well.
It doesn't quite compute.
If you haven't got a big enough ticker.
That's
so
right.
that leads now down to 1.1 seconds. So Muddle is catching up and takes a checkered flag.
Right, so...
Will be given to him. Holmes in 3rd, Barry in 4th, and the gap between first and fourth was 6.9 seconds. So McDermott will hold on to third. Barry will be fourth. Adam Gotch and Rob Rowe will be next two across the line. So Rowe has managed to split the two McGull Formula 4s. Cove will have a 5-second penalty hanging over his head, so we'll finish further down the line.
Fantastic. We'd like to thank our series sponsor, AGI Roll Cages, for all of their continued support, and we look forward to contesting for the final race, which will decide who takes home the David June Memorial Cup in memory of our good friend, David June, who we all miss terribly.
Thank you, Lawrence. We're going to
too.
take a break, and we'll be back after lunch with more action. Non-finisher in his 1600, but the race was won by Michael Kinsella, Renault Clio.
Down the pit lane, so obviously dramas with that car. Was scheduled to start off the Ribbon Field after some issues yesterday, and he's returned to the garage, so not going to be taking part in this second race.
Yeah, well, he had some electrical gremlins yesterday, so I'm just wondering whether it's the same problem. He was trying to fix it yesterday afternoon, but obviously it's either the same problem or a new one.
Obviously, it's also come up within half a lap of leading the pit lane as well, because he came back through the turn 4 gate re-entry. As we see our field coming down the main straight now, we've got Ryan Gorton starting on pole. He had a tough time fending off Devyak at the end of yesterday's race. Pretty much the start of the race was what sorted it out between them, because Devyak had to fight back. Behind that, you've got Liddell and Justin Barnes, who'll be looking for some pace to come through. McLean and Lewis had a great battle in race 1 as well, so watch out for them. Noakes who's behind them, had a 5-second penalty in yesterday's race, so dropped a bit further back down through the field. So he'll be looking to come through, and then, of course, the rest of the field all there as well as we get the green flag at the back. 5-second board comes out, the revs rise. And off we go. A bit of wheel spin from Devyak from the line, which has given Gorton a half a car length on him down into turn 1. And we take the look from the front. You can see people moving to the left, trying to get their position. It looks like Barnes covering off Lewis behind. So McLean did not quite get the start that he was looking for there as they swing through turn 1 and now go down into 2. It'll be up to Devyak to dive to the inside. He's trying to make it work on Gorton, putting all the pressure on the rear bumper of the leading RX8. It's the line of stern as they come out of the corner.
Had a quick chat to Justin this morning, and he was talking about how a bit of his setup wasn't quite right yesterday, and he reckons he's definitely got more pace in that car today, so he was disappointed with the start, but was sure that he was going to be able to keep with the top 3 today.
He's been right up there for the last few rounds, hasn't he, at the end of last season, about the second half, and when he really started cutting the shoulders. We see him playing down the inside. A little bit of sideways between the two of them, and a little rub. It looked like a big corner there as Lower's going to lose out and run up over the field between 5 and 6. So Lane making moves early as well. He wanted to get the elbows out. Steve on the radio to him, just coaching him through every race. Absolutely loving being part of that McDonald's team. And those guys looking to work their way. They think they've got the pace to be in the top 4, which I think half this field does as well here with RX8 Cup. Everybody's so close as they come round through the hairpin and make the shoot to the final couple of corners.
That was a good start for Jake Lauer. With Jake's, he's sitting in Maisie Place's car from last year, so he's certainly still trying to get a handle around how that car handles, but he's really happy with it, having a chat to him yesterday. But you can see that he's certainly bringing that, to jump in front of Tom and be pushing Shannon straight off the start. It's a pretty good start.
Yeah, it was a great moment between the two of them side by side through 4 and 5. Devyak about 3 car lengths behind Gorton as they come down the straight for the first time. And the field stretches out slightly. It elongates on the main straight here for the RX8 Cup cars, and then it'll all compress again at turn 2, and it becomes about that run through the back section of the circuit. You can see Silvestro on screen. He had a bit of a tough run in yesterday's race as well, probably further down than he'd really like to be, but still continues to showcase how strong the championship is at the moment. He's got Camillus behind him. There's a couple further back there as well, going side by side. So
Hayden Riley looks like he's had a good start. He's certainly started off 10th or 11th. He's moved up a spot, but he seems to be holding a bit of pace. He was struggling with pace yesterday. As you can see, he's still moved in front of Noakes there, and really sticking with the pack where he struggled a little bit with time yesterday. So that's a pretty good start for Hayden.
Good to see him as they come around the back of the course.
Already that group out the front, you can see behind the six he's right on Liddell's tail as we come down into, what's that, turn 9?
He's going to probably have a look here very shortly. There he is on the screen, as you see, right up behind Liddell. I think he'll be looking to get that move into turn 3. You can't let Gorton and Devyak get too far ahead in the early stages because he'll just never get a chance to jump run them down. He needs to get past now if he wants to get up to those two battling. Hopefully for him, Devyak and Gorton will then start a little fight, tussle, and that'll slow them down slightly. Yesterday, in their battle, they were still driving away from the rest of the field, setting faster lap times while they were going door to door and trying to overtake each other.
Yeah, it's frustrated Justin. He was talking about how, once you lose that gap to the front, it's basically an impossible task to catch them because they're just carrying so much pace. So he reckons he's going to carry a bit more straight line speed today, which is good. He changed a little bit of setup in his rear, which was good for him.
So on the RX8, with the RX8 Cup guys, we see often here at Sydney Motorosport Park, down the main straight, it elongates ways, Barnes looks the rears coming into 2, trying to make that gap. Does the draft play a major factor here for you guys, or is it not really something that you factor into what you're doing?
Yeah, they certainly get a little bit of a draft down the straight, but it's not a huge draft, I don't think. With these, you'll often see them as a really last-minute pull-out, and if you don't get the right run, it doesn't have a huge impact, but it certainly gives them a little bit more top end as they come down the straight. And they're pulling speeds of 190 down the straight there on average.
battle continues for the race.
Good opportunity to mention Oxsafe. Oxsafe are here on board again. They sort of help cover our live streaming costs and some of the cost rounds. They've been with us now they've been certainly involved for the last couple of years. So a shout out to Mel and Amy who have been on board, certainly with my young bloke and Aidan Riley for the last couple of years, and they've come on board as a category sponsor this year. So without them on board, it would actually be hard to sort of have all of this coverage. Another one is Sequel as well. They've been on board for a couple of years and they certainly have a lot of running costs in the category. So Brian Place, Maze's dad, does a lot of that for us, organises a lot of that for us to make sure that we've got our officials here each weekend when we come and race.
It's good to see from RX8 Cup that there's so much support for it from within the competitor base, but also outside. There's plenty of supporters who are on board, and you see them all on the crew shirts and the team shirts that everybody has, and signage out the back of the pits as well. Everybody takes a lot of pride in this category, and if you're at a racetrack and want to be able to see some RX8 Cup racing and have a look at these cars in more detail, no doubt it's quite happy to let you have a wander through and have a look at the cars and potentially help you be able to build one and go racing.
Oh, the professionalism there now. Everyone's got team shirts, boards out the front. The cars look professional. It's rare to see anyone turn up and not have a straight, clean-looking car. It's a great category. You can see Deviak really pushing Ryan today, which is good. And he's a little bit taily. So it was a little bit taily yesterday as well. So definitely Brian's got great speed down the straight. So he's a great driver, and he really thinks on his feet as well. He's a smart driver.
It showcases that when you guys go to Wakefield Park and those tighter tracks as well, has still been at the top of the list. As we see, Barnes has dropped away from Liddell, in the battle for third. Liddell's actually closed this gap to the guys in front, so obviously that car has come good.
It's amazing, even just down to the intricacies of tyre pressures. You know, everyone's trying something different to try and get the edge. So you might find that Ryan's tyres might be just struggling a little bit, whereas Steve's might be coming on right now. So they generally sort of swing one way or the other throughout the race. But yeah, this is going to get real tasty in the next lap or two, as Liddell is definitely catching up. I think he's set the fastest first sector on this lap. See Steve's really trying to sort of find a way past Ryan. Ryan's very taily, but Steve is really putting the pressure on him. With another 9 minutes to go, I'd be surprised if Ryan's going to be able to hold out Steve for the duration. But he's a good driver, so you never know.
Section of the circuit, so he may be able to just get that little bit of breathing space. He'll be looking in the mirror and waiting for Liddell to come up and get down some pressure. You can see as well, cars pairing off behind him in the battle groups as they come around Corporate Hill. So it looks like Barnes is starting to fall back into the clutches of those cars behind him. He's still got a little bit of a gap, so he won't be under too much pressure yet, but Lewis and McLean are picking up their battle again for what is 5th and 6th in the race, and then behind that you've got Lower and Shaw, who are also fighting for position. So good little battle groups all the way through the RX8 Cup field.
I think you'll find Ryan at the front is hoping that Liddell's going to catch Deviak. That way Deviak's going to be looking in the mirror as much as looking forward. So that will certainly get a little bit interesting for Steve.
Deviak definitely seems to be stronger from about the exit of the hairpin through to turn 2, and then after that he's not quite got the mumbo to be able to do anything around the back section of the circuit.
There you go, you got Tom having a look on the outside of Jake Lauer.
Oh, Deviak looks at Gordon to lead the race.
Close.
Almost had a touch there into the corner as Deviak closed the gap. right up onto the rear bumper of Gordon, but now we'll see probably through the back section of the circuit he'll pull away. There's only a couple of laps left in this one, 4.5 minutes on the timing screen. So they'll probably get 4 laps left in the race, but we can see the leading times 1:48.4, 1:48.4, 1:48.4.
These are qualifying times last year. They're now our race times. The cars are just getting so much faster.
It's incredible how good they are stepping race pace while they're putting pressure on each other. Yet again, Deviak still behind Gordon. He hasn't been able to do anything about it as yet. I don't think he'll be able to do anything until, I think turn 2 is his spot where he can potentially make the move. He seems to have the pace down through there.
And as you said, there's like another 3 or 4 battle packs. So the racing's close in amongst everybody. Everyone's having a battle out there. Looks like O'Keefe got past Aidan Riley on that lap.
Down the straight they come. This is probably as close as Deviak's been to Barnes on the straight this race. I would say that he is on for a move here into turn 2. Look at him clawing up to the rear bumper. He's going to show the nose actually into 1. He's gone down the inside into turn 1 there.
Yeah, hold that.
Side by side. Gordon trying to go around the outside, and he holds it. Deviak with a big moment. He's got still sliding it. He's managed to keep it on the track. That was 2 massive opposite lock moments, and Liddell has been able to get past him. Brilliant car control, but unfortunately he's lost a position from it.
You just got to pick your line right through there. And we saw last year, you saw the Harrises slide through there sideways quite a lot. And if you take that shallow line, turn it too tight, that's what happens. That was good driving though.
Unfortunately, we've seen a few cars over many categories go into the wall on the inside there. It slides like that as they come through the back section of the circuit. So he's got a bit to do to be able to get himself back up there to the front of this race, and that probably will hand Gordon the ability to bring it home comfortably with the 2 minutes remaining. He'll get the last lap board this time by, I should suspect, and Deviak trying to throw himself past Liddell. He won't be able to get to Gordon, which will give Gordon, in the end, a comfortable victory, but you can see further back as well, McLean's still all over the back of Lewis, and then further back, Lower struggling to hold off.
Oh, he's sideways.
Shaw, yeah, he's had a massive slide through the hairpin. So Shaw is putting all sorts of pressure on Lower for sixth place. No, 7th place in the race. Those 2 cars very, very close together as well. You'll see them up the top of the shot here. They're side by side through the final complex. So it'll be interesting to see how the run looks down the straight for those 2. There they are at the top of the shot. If you're watching on the live stream, you see them run down the straight here. The last lap ball out. Headlights on for McLean. I think he's going to try to make the run at Lower here to the inside. He's later on the brakes. He's coming up. He's got to the inside. It's going to be another moment of Deviak and Gordon, isn't it? Almost. Tom Shaw keeps the car on the straight and narrow. Now he'll try to arrow it to the inside at turn 2 and see if he does anything. No, Lower's taking the incentive away there. Noakes, look at the way he closed on the brakes at the braking point into turn 2. He's made this a 3-car battle.
Just goes to show how much, you take away a bit of that mid-corner speed, a little bit of a battle, and those other cars behind just close the gap almost instantly. There's a bit of a run wide at the end of turn 3 for Jake.
He's definitely feeling the pressure trying to get through the road. He's had a massive slide through 4, and that's going to give Shaw the opportunity to get past his Gaz. He's made the move quite comfortably. Rest.
A lot of the cars have been
Lower, sorry.
Over here we've got
Deviak as they come towards the finish line. So the battle for 3rd has also kicked off. Battle for 2nd, has also kicked off as they come around the final complex. You can see it on your screen there. Deviak trying to throw everything he can at Liddell. He's going to do it as he switches back to the inside. It's side by side into the final corner, and he gets past to take 2nd place at the death. Liddell will try to get the run on the straight, but he won't be able to do it. Out in front though, Ryan Gorton, 2 victories from 2 races. There's still 2 more to come in the RX8 Cup Series presented by Oxsafe this weekend. You can see Deviak just managed to hold off Liddell for 2nd place in the race. And the rest of the field coming across the line behind. Barnes probably not as happy as he would like to be. He'll probably go back and do some more fixing to that car. Lewis holds off McLean. And then Shaw, who managed to get past Lower, who holds off Noakes right at the flag as well. O'Keefe with a good drive through the field to 10th place. Started off the back row of the grid with dramas in race 1. And that wraps up the 2nd race for the Oxsafe Australia RX8 Cup here.
Cars scheduled to grid.
Do you have a special car, a caravan, boat or RV, but no safe space to store it at home? Let Melbourne Car Kennel securely store it for you. Conveniently located at Moorabbin Airport with easy access to major roadways, Melbourne Car Kennel offers secure indoor and outdoor storage for anything on wheels. With 4K CCTV, monitored alarms and regular security patrols, Melbourne Car Kennel cares for your wheeled assets as if they are our own. Call Melbourne Car Kennel now and talk to Brad to organise your flexible vehicle storage solution. Discounts available for viewers who mention this advert from the Victorian State Racing Series broadcast. You can find Melbourne Car Kennel on Facebook, Instagram and online at melbournecarkennel.com. Melbourne Car Kennel, proudly supporting Blendline TV and the Victorian State Racing Series.
Facebook isn't the only place that you can support Australian grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV. To see more real race cars, more live events and more of the racing you love, subscribe to the Blendline TV YouTube channel, sign up to our mailing list or bookmark and subscribe to our website at blendline.tv. Thanks for continuing to support grassroots motorsport with Blendline TV.